Hello, 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 everyone. I'm Eeron Holmes, and you're tuned in to Higher Self Love. And today we have a wonderful show planned out for you. I do have special guest Carl Wesley Jr., health and fitness coach, and who's a personal trainer and owner of Chislers. And he has been through trials and tribulations, but he did not let that stop or deter him from getting to success. Okay. So, this is a man of God and who uses faith as his weapon to keep moving forward. Now, without further ado, help me welcome Mr. Carl Wesley.
Hey,
Hi, Carl. How are you doing today?
all is well. I'm definitely blessed for sure. Good to thank you for allowing me to be on your show.
You're welcome, Carl. I unfortunately I can't hear you too good.
You know what? It took a few seconds for me to for your voice to clear
Can
up.
you can
So
you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me good.
Yes.
Okay. Um.
Maybe it's gonna take a minute. It took me a minute for me to hear you, so it may be still buffering.
Okay, I can hear you good.
Yeah. Mhm.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So today we're going to be, thank you so much for being my special guest. We're going to be speaking about a man on a mission, okay? And you're here to tell your story. And I'm super excited to have you here. Now, wonderful. I like to first start off my show with asking all of my guests, what is your blessing of the week?
You know what? Every breath that I breathe, every breath that I take is a blessing. And on top of that, I am just a blessed individual all the way around. I live um, every day have an opportunity to help others strive for greatness, and that's the blessing in itself. I'm able to give to others and help them live a healthy life.
Yes,
Absolutely.
wonderful. Wonderful. That is a wonderful blessing. Amen to that blessing. Now, with that blessing, that does bring me to our Bible verse of the day. And that is going to be Philippians 4 and 13. And this is, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So wonderful. And that is what we're going to be talking about today with you being a man on a mission and inspiring people and touching so many people. Okay. So wonderful. Now, how about let's go ahead and get this interview started, shall we? Now,
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Carl.
Mhm.
Yes. Now, Carl, for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Um, I dibbled and dabbled in a lot of different industries. Uh, I had owned my own clothing line for several years. Reached a lot of success with that. Been on BET, had my clothes in stores. I produced my own movies. Just did a lot of things in the industry. I was actually even a teacher for 4 years.
Wow.
Um, but my life, everything was like riding the wave. Everything was going great. I was in the spotlight. I was traveling, and I was being recognized as one of the future legends of Houston, and just things was just rocking. And
Wow.
then in 2011, it seemed like I was just hit with a brick. I just everything just crumbled down. And my health started to disintegrate. It was I started experiencing a lot of pain, head pain, shoulder pain that just debilitated me, to the point where I couldn't even work. I had to move back home. I was even contemplating, getting some type of retirement check type of situation because I could not work. So to make a long story short, through that pain, created my purpose, and that is learning how to heal myself, the importance of health and nutrition, and by helping and healing and bettering my physical appearance and well-being, that instilled and gave me a spark and the desire to pass on the wisdom and encouragement to others to live a better life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm at now, you know, being a trainer and doing what I do.
Wonderful. That is absolutely amazing. All righty. Now, walk us through your health journey. When did your body, first to start to deteriorate?
Yeah.
Walk us through that journey of your life.
Well, 2005 when I first experienced my first anxiety attack, and that was the first. You know, this may sound like exaggerative, but that's the first time where I feel like I was going to die. You know,
Wow.
when you feel like you cannot breathe, and that is the most scariest thing ever. Since 2005, just dealing with a lot of anxiety. I guess that's usually mixed with depression as well. But it wasn't until, like I mentioned, 2011 when it became chronic. It was more so every day. You know, like I said, that's when things just really just took a turn for the worse. And then the anxiety and depression increased as well. So it was like a trickle down effect, and it was a lot to deal with. Absolutely.
Wow. So how did you like cope with everything when you was dealing with going through anxiety and then dealing with depression? How did you cope with everything?
It was in stages for sure, because if you haven't experienced anything, you don't really know how to deal with it. Especially if you don't have any family members that deal with it, any friends, and you can't really pull from any resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your mind doesn't know how to deal with it. Um, So, I have a history of drinking and smoking and things of that nature. So that's the first thing I do is trying to mask the pain through drinking and smoking, just to try to find some type of relief, happiness, just trying to find it that way. And then I went to the doctors. You know what, I'm even gonna lie, I was excuse me, I was a little reluctant to even go to the doctor. And I think that's common amongst, I'm not gonna put everybody in one category, but stereotypical. A lot of black people are hesitant to even go see the doctor, um, in fear of the worst. So
Yes.
I was a little hesitant. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this over counter medicine, and then I'm gonna do this. I was trying to do my own independent research,
Right.
trying to do everything on my own, trying to find relief. And
Mm-hmm.
then it took about a year for me to say, you know what, there's nothing that I can do that's helping. So let me go ahead and go to the doctor. But the doctor, to make a long story short, only thing that they did was write me a prescription. So that just aided to my addictive personality. So then I started getting used to just taking drugs, and that just made me not want to do anything. It just wanted me to just sleep pretty much all day. So it didn't really help the situation at all. It
Yes.
kind of it maybe kind of took my mind away from it, allowed me to kind of relax, but it didn't help at all.
So you were still going through the pain, even
Oh,
with some, yeah. So
almost
you
definitely.
had like head pain and things like that.
Yeah, it's you know what? I know I had a headache, but I didn't know there were so many different types of headaches. Um, so that's when I went into this rabbit hole of information. It's like, okay. And then through reading a bunch of information, I discovered I had a tension headache. So it was this tension of literally like a band going around my head that just would not go away. Um, and then maybe that was the first sign of pain. And then it radiated from my shoulders, just constant tension on my shoulders. And then I started noticing like in down my back and just almost everywhere. It just started somewhere and then just kind of went to other areas of my body.
Okay. So you did tell me about like you did find a doctor out in California and things like that. Tell us about whenever you that time when you found out what was really going on with you. Walk us through that point.
Yeah. So let's see. So 2011 through 2015, 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 or 5 years of just living like I just described, just on pills and whatnot. Wasn't really active or anything like that. Or you know what? Actually, before I went to California, there was this huge transition to my mental. So let me go there. Let me start there first. So I went to a doctor, and she, she looked at my profile. She saw my age, and she saw my all of the medications that I've been on. And then she looked at me. She was like, "You." She said before I walked into her office, she was expecting a man that's like in his late 70s or something. She was
Wow.
like, "Why are you on all these medications?" She looked like confused and like, "No, this isn't right. You're way too young to be taking all these medications." And then she asked me two questions that changed my life. And she said that, what have you done holistically for you to find health, or find relief? And at that time, I didn't even know what the word holistic meant. And then she asked me, and for the people that don't know how I explain, but anyway, then she also asked me, do I work out? And I said, well, I used to. The answer was no. But just kind of tell her that I've been messing around in the gym. I used to kind of work out. And then obviously that's what she was suggesting, that I go find a holistic route, a natural route, like
Yes.
herbs and minerals and vitamins, and I start to work out.
Yes.
So I took her advice, and from that point on, I haven't looked back. And
Wow.
then it led me into doing some more independent research and going to YouTube University. And then that's when I stumbled on Dr. Bergman in California. And his whole character, everything he was talking about, just resonated with my spirit and my soul. And I said, you know what? If anybody that can help me, it'll be him.
Yes.
And I said, I have to go to California. I have to meet him, and I have to get a consultation. I have to, you know, that man can help me. So yeah, I went to California, and that's when I discovered a lot. That's when I discovered that the root of my pain was in my spine. And at that time, I really was ignorant to a lot of stuff, as far as um, scoliosis, like nerve pain and chiropractic adjustments or any of that. So just to touch on it a little bit, um, see what happens is the nerves, every function of the body is controlled by our nerves. Okay. Now our nerves, they run in between our spinal column. All right. So you have our spinal column, right, in the middle of our back. That's connected to
Mm-hmm.
the base of the head all the way down. And in between those bones, there are nerves, right? So if someone is, just to make it uh, simple, is if our body is crooked, all right?
Yeah.
If we're like this, either sitting too long or laying down too long or just living our life like this,
Yeah.
then that means over time, those nerves are going to get impinged. And then once those nerves are irritated, it's going to radiate to a specific part of the body. So they started doing, Dr. Bergman's office took an x-ray of my spine, and I wish I can put it on the screen, but it is horrific. And it's like an S curve. It's supposed to be straight, but it's like an S curve. And until uh, I get upright, until my spine gets aligned, then I'm gonna have to deal with that pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're still going through that pain, right? Each and every day?
Unfortunately, I am. But what the main thing that happened is a change of mindset, and mindset is literally everything. Um, and I think the the idea of not knowing why you have headaches and whatever pain in your body, when you're clueless and you go to so many different doctors and they have no clue what's going on, I think that leaves you hopeless. And I feel
Yeah.
like without hope, living without hope is literally like taking a man's soul from his body, and that leads to you know, extreme depression, especially when you go to these doctors, and they, you know, they're veterans, they've been in the field for 30, 40 years, and they look at your um, whatever your report, and they can't find a solution for you, and they literally looking like, I can't help you. You can imagine what that does to a young man. So that not only was I in pain, I was just emotionally distraught,
Mhm.
confused, lost,
Right.
you know, and that's almost more painful than the actual pain. So now that I deal with it, it's just a little bit different. You know, like I said, I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent on that, but just because I know the root of the pain and I deal with it every day through therapy, independent therapy that I have at home, and just working out and eating right, stretching often, and just doing things like that. The pain is manageable and
Mhm.
livable. Um, so yeah, so if I didn't have the knowledge, then my life would be, yeah, it would be pretty extreme.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, I'm so very happy that it is better for you. That you changed your lifestyle and with going into health and fitness and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get on into that. Now, how long have you been on your fitness journey?
Okay. Well, officially, I started in 2013. Is when I made that transition to say, you know what? Well, I'm gonna say this. My first clown was in 2013. All right, and I never looked back. I started at my mom's house in her garage, cleaned out her whole garage, and got some old Goodwill equipment and, you know, hand me downs, and made a gym. And then, you know, from there, I was in her garage for a year, and then me and a close friend of mine, we got our own gym, and then, you know, things started happening from there. But for so yeah, professionally for about 7 years.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Now you did tell me that you was suffering from depression. Like tell
Yeah.
us, how did you cope with depression and how did you fight depression?
Good question. So the depression started 15 years ago. So, but before I come into knowledge, um, how can I say it? All right. So, all right. You just got me thinking, because it's different portions of my life that I deal with it differently. And just like I dealt with the pain, the first stage of is dealing with it like on an ignorant level, and then when you come into knowledge, certain knowledge, you kind of it it shifts your mindset, and then you say, you know what, these ways of living and trying to cope isn't beneficial to my overall well-being, and then I went to the natural route. Let me give you a better answer. So a lot of times, and the first thing people do when they are depressed or down and out, they'll gravitate towards uh, liquor, um, sex, food, whatever, you know, things that's detrimental for to their health. And after a while, you realize when you become knowledgeable that these things aren't helping you at all. You actually, you know, it give you a little temporary fix, temporary high. However, it's, you know, you still have your problems. You know, whenever you wake up out of this, you know, this sleep, so you're not really doing your body any justice or your life any justice. So now I just prescribe to just a healthier way to deal with it. And my number one uh, depression remedy is exercise.
Yeah.
And stretching, movement. Movement is literally medicine, right? Let me
Yeah.
explain that. So a lot of people don't know this, that when you exercise, your body releases almost the same exact hormones, feel good emotions that these drugs give you with no side effects. Like, for example, serotonin, the dopamine, and endorphins. Those are released when you're working out. And those are natural feel good hormones and, emotions when you work out. And obviously, there's other benefits to when you're working out. So, right now, that's the reason why I work out every day. I work out every day because I know my mindset and I know what my body needs, and I don't feel right emotionally if I'm not active. If I don't get um, that high, from working out.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonderful.
And also reading. I read. An avid reader. If I don't fill my mind up with positivity, whether it be quotes or just short stories, or if I'm not listening to anything positive or a sermon or a motivational speech video, then I notice that my days are more dark than it would be if I, had got some good information.
Yes. Yes, that's really, really awesome. I will say I love to listen to motivational speaking as well because, depression is something, you guys, I suffer from depression also. And I, want to kind of get into that a little bit more because I did see that you had your commercial on depression and the
Yeah,
mind. So yes, I would love to touch a little bit on that. Now, with you saying that you listen to motivational speakers, who is your favorite motivational speaker that you like to listen to?
you know what? Someone that completely changed my life, and that is David Goggins. David Goggins is a retired Navy SEAL, coined as the strongest man alive. His willpower, his defeats that he had to overcome in his life, his display of mental toughness to overcome adversity. It's just this whole story is extremely inspirational, um, and that's my number one uh, source of inspiration when it comes to tying in the physical motivation or life motivation to just get up. And he's one of those very vulgar speakers. However, it works, it resonates with me when things are really, really hard. It's like, get the F up, you know what I mean? And that's sometimes I just need that strong voice to say, hey, you know, you know, be tough.
Yeah.
You being weak right now. You gotta, wipe off your tears. You gotta, just wake up and get to work. So yeah, David Goggins. I love. God, I drew a blank on a few of them. But anyway, but yeah, David Goggins off the top for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Now, for those of you that are just tuning in, I'm talking to health and fitness guru Carl Wesley on his health and fitness journey, okay, and personal training business, Chiselers. If you would like to if you have any questions for Carl, please feel free to leave a comment. Also, please feel free to like and also share the video, and also feel free to give us a thumbs up, and also if you can, please throw a watch party. We would
Yes,
definitely appreciate that.
yes.
So wonderful. Now, Carl, tell us, what is health and fitness to you? What does health and fitness mean to you?
It's the lifeline. It is it is the cheat code to a better life. It is longevity. It is happiness. It is joy. It is therapy. It is medicine. You know, it's everything. And once you're able to get past the beginning stages
Mhm.
and endure and overcome the pain, the nauseousness, the tired, the fatigue when you first starting to work out, you you get uh, you level up into another zone of like, you know what, this is a lifestyle, and I am addicted to feeling better and looking better. And when you
Yes.
do that, you know, you reap a lot of results mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Now,
and
how has faith played a part in your career? How has your faith played a part in your career?
you know, I'm definitely a man of faith. Even in my toughest times, I feel like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't I didn't have faith in higher power, and not just in my career, but just in my life and just in general, um, and just having hope that, you know, everything is happening for a reason.
Mhm.
Um, everything, uh, everything that's meant for you is gonna happen, or you're experiencing it in divine timing. So I just have faith that if, as long as I'm doing something good, as long as I'm operating from a positive intentions and I'm doing good to people, then I will reap the rewards from those good deeds. Um, and that's just how I live life, just from the golden rule. You just treat other people how you want to be treated. And then after that, things just, you know, start to align because that's just what it is. And that's just life, you know.
Right.
It's karma, you know. And a lot of people, they think when they think of the word karma, they only think of it in a negative way. You do bad, you're gonna get bad. You know, bad is gonna come to you. But that's only half the truth. You know, once you do good for other people, and you put out you know, you speak positive and you put things into the universe and whatnot, good things will come to you.
That's right.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely,
right. Yes, using your tongue is your weapon and
absolutely.
speaking things into existence and manifesting the things that you want. Definitely.
Absolutely. I
I'm
yeah, that's huge in my life for sure.
yes, I'm a strong believer of that as well. Now, was it ever so hard where you just wanted to quit?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, often. Uh yeah, definitely two dark periods of my life. Let's say from the physical level, when you just sick and tired of being in pain, like
Hmm.
sick, you just sick and tired. Every day you wake up, you're in the exact same situation, and the only thing you want to do is sleep.
Yeah,
You just want to sleep, and just like I'm not excited about anything, and that's a very very bad place to be mentally, when nothing excites you, and everything is grueling, everything is work, everything is you know, labor, everything is just dark. So you just like, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. I just don't want to be here anymore.
yeah,
Um, so I deal with a lot of that, dealing with my physical pain, and also emotional pain uh, as well. But just definitely some dark times in my life where I had to experience a lot of change. Let's say that there's a lot of change, and it's like, whoa, what is? I can't win for losing. I'm losing in this direction. I'm losing here. I lost this friend, and then this is just too much happening at one time. But I learned to grow from that. I learned from all my personal mistakes, or any mishaps or anything. There was just learning experiences. So I just took that time to just learn and you know, sit in quietness and just listen to God and listen to the universe and just read and just see what I can pull from this dark time in my life. And this been several dark times, but that is the reason why I feel like I am the man that I am today, because I wouldn't
mhm,
be as strong unless I went through something that tough times that made me stronger. I
yeah,
look at it as resistance, right? So when you endure a lot of resistance in your life, you have to come out stronger. You know, it's very cliche, but whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that can be taken literally. You know, for sure. That's what it is. And I went through a lot of it. And that's the reason why I'm, you know, as strong as I am today.
Awesome. That is wonderful. I absolutely love that and very inspiring. Now, when it comes to your career chiselers, what are your ultimate goals?
Hmm. Good question. I really want to reach a lot more people than I do at this current moment. Um, I feel like I'm more than a personal trainer or a fitness instructor. Anybody that has trained with me currently or in the past, everyone says you're more than a trainer. You know, you're a life coach, you're a teacher, you're a mentor. Um, I'm a philosopher. I'm all the above, and I feel like my core message, what I'm about, I feel like can be utilized to make others um, stronger, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and make them aware of what's possible and inspire them to become the best version of themselves, make them realize how strong that they are, right? And I want to go into the Philippians 4 and 13, the scripture of the day, right?
Yes.
And I said earlier that I can elaborate that. And a lot of people, they even wear t-shirts. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it sounds good, but a lot of people don't live through that scripture. Let me explain. Because a lot of people live with self-doubt. So if you live with self-doubt and you're afraid of challenges and everything somebody asks you to do or you're presented with something, you're going, well, not you, but in general, I hear a lot. Obviously, in my profession, I hear a lot. I can't do that. Oh, that's too much. I can't give up this. And I can't, it's a bunch of I can'ts. So how are you living with this I can't? That's the first thing a lot of people, the first words I hear, you know, after I give a challenge to someone, I can't, I can't, I can't. When you live with that mentality, you cannot adhere to Philippians 4 and 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you can't live by this, you know, this motto, this scripture, and live in this I can't life. So yeah, that's what it is. It's like I want people to truly understand that they can do all things through Christ who strengthens them, and realize that the Spirit of God that dwells within them, you have the power to literally overcome, endure, and accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And that's that. And you have to, and that's just faith building. You just have to have, you know, a crazy amount of faith um, to live a life like that. But the thing is, the thing about faith, how do you build faith? And confidence. The only way to build faith and confidence is by doing something, right? So if you are, let's say, Aaron, you're my client, right? And I say, I want you to run a mile. I want you to run a mile, let's say under 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. And you say, I can't do it. All right. So if you say, I can't do it, you never do it, then the next challenge, you're going to say, I can't do it. Because you don't really have any confidence that you could do anything. So let's change the story and predicament. And let's say Aaron goes out and runs this mile in 14 minutes. Then you look at me and like, oh, I didn't realize that I can do this. Boom, confidence is built. So the next challenge, I say, I want you to do 200 jumping jacks in 10 minutes, whatever it is. And then that confidence is still within you saying, well, you know what? I just ran a mile in this. I think I can do it. And then you do it again. It's just, and it becomes a habit. It becomes like, wow, I can do this. And it's something that gets ingrained in your personality and your character and make you realize like, wow, I can do a lot more than I, you know, set out to do. You know, the only limitations that a lot of us have is the ones that we set upon ourselves.
Yes.
So once we change that mentality and actually go out and actually put forth the effort and at least try with a positive mindset, and then that's when a lot more people will have more confidence and faith within themselves. And that's my thing that I want to, one of my core messages, and want more people to gravitate towards, have more confidence within themselves, you know?
Yes, yes. Now, walk us through how you overcame obstacles in your life. Like, what was the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome in your life?
Yeah, I'm processing the question. So I think, okay, well, literally everything that I mentioned, as far as from 2005, dealing with anxiety, depression, debilitating pain, and a lot of areas in my body, um, some emotional trauma, uh, financial stress, and things of that nature. It's all about developing a certain amount of character and strength. And the only way to do that is to just do it. So a lot of people ask me, if you living in pain every single day, and they'll say, I don't know how you do it. I said, I would like to hear different options. What other options do you have for me? It's either I endure the pain or I don't. And when I say I don't, what does that look like? What does that look like? So when you're back against the wall and you can't go anywhere, what do? You have to fight. So the only way for me to overcome and endure and face it, well, I just said it, you face it. You face the adversity head on and you fight. And that's how that's my approach to any adversity in life. I just fight. That's all I do. And over time, you know, you may get beat up when you first start. You don't know how to fight, and after a while, you get beat up, you know, enough. You're gonna learn that you should have bobbed and weave. You should have did two of these before it. You just learn how to fight, you know. And after dealing with so much that I've dealt with throughout these years, you know, I become a good fighter. That's all.
Awesome. That's absolutely amazing. Now, how do you not let stress and worries weigh you down?
Well, I'm not perfect. You know, I'm gonna say that off the top. It's not like I don't deal with stress at all. I think, for the most part, I maintain a high level of energy than a lot of other people, for sure, for sure. And that's just all about faith. That's literally just it. Just having faith that all things are perfect.
Yes.
Everything is happening for a reason. And for me, I had to dig deep. I just had to dig deep into. I went into this deep place of like discovering, like, why am I here on Earth?
Wow.
All those deep questions of life, because I didn't want to be here anymore. Like, why did God put me here just to be in pain? Like, why am I here? Like, you know, I was miserable. So when I went down that path, I discovered a lot of faith, a lot of stuff that I haven't heard, and, you know, before ever in life, and they just gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of hope, and,
Yes.
you know, and that's how I just live. I have to constantly remind myself, and that's what I feel like a lot of people don't do, is the constant reminders. You have to read a lot. Like, for example, well, nobody's going to church now because of the pandemic. But let's say the average churchgoer, when, you know, we could go to church, you'll go Sunday, and then Monday you live in a normal life. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, you're not in the scripture, you're not reading, you're not really feeding your mindset with any positivity. So it's a 6 days that you kind of moving away from God in a sense, and then you get your fix on Sunday. That's not really the best way to live life. I feel like it has to be constant. And that's the only way to build your faith and knowledge, for that faith to walk with you. Because the average church goer, for example, on Sunday, like I said, you are high and mighty and praise God, right? And then when some type of adversity hits you on Monday morning, you cussing and fighting and screaming and doing all the other stuff. Like, hold up, what happened to your faith on Sunday? What happened to this God and Jesus? What happened? So you lose it. So the best way for me is just to stay in it. And then when I'm faced with adversity, it's still on the forefront of my mind. And then I'm able to kind of look at it and not be so caught off guard and emotional about what's going on.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, how has God's blessings helped you to become a blessing to others?
Say that one more time. I heard you, but say it one more time.
How has God's blessings helped you to become a blessing to others?
I don't know why that's a complex question for me, because it's how does God blessings help me to become a blessing for others? And I think, ooh, the my heart, right? I've always been a person that's willing to help others, um, share information, motivate others since I was a kid. That's been my personality forever.
Wow.
And but it wasn't until I learned about nutrition and working out and God and whatever religion, universe, and all that type of stuff, faith-based information, that I feel like God is able to use me for my true purpose. So through my pain and adversity, created my purpose. But through my natural personality and my gift to, or my willingness to share information and motivate and give my heart, I think the combination of uh, that has helped me get to where I am today and where I'm trying to go. If that makes any sense.
Mhm.
But if I wasn't in pain, if I never had to deal with anything, then God wouldn't be able to use me,
Right.
because I really wouldn't really have a way to inspire others, or I wouldn't be given the right information, and I would never. I feel like my overall message is very powerful, but if I wasn't able to find my own strength, I wouldn't be able to help others. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I think I was kind of all over the place with that answer. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Now,
I'm
now, what
sorry. Yeah.
inspire you? What inspires you to keep going?
What inspires me to keep going? Life, life, everything in life, whether it be personal or other people. And I think it's a combination of both. Just my willingness to enjoy life and give life to others and getting feedback from helping others. Um, all of the above. It's like a mixture of that. But that's the only motivation I need. Is just my want and my desire to live a more enjoyable life, not just for myself but through others.
Wonderful, wonderful. I absolutely love that. Now, what words would you give someone to overcome self-hate and start to love themselves again?
Yeah. So as far as self love, what words can I give someone who's dealing with self hate and self esteem issues? Right. I'm trying to find a short answer. I was asked this question not too long ago, and my number one go to response is find knowledge of self. But that isn't sufficient. And it's rather deep and what that even really even means. But you have to understand your true purpose in life.
Right.
You have to understand what and who God is.
Right.
You have to discover what love is in general, and you have to respect your temple. And if you have to understand that the spirit of God dwells within us. So when you hate your own body and you poison your own body, you're disrespecting God. And the first thing that I would suggest someone do is to read, look within, meditate, and become a researcher and study topics of faith. And yeah, and I think once you figure out who you are and you hang around positive people that can give you this positive spark in your life, I think that's the first step. First, surround yourself with positive people, research resources, and almost brainwash yourself with positive messages, positive videos, motivational speakers, and whatnot. I think that's the first step to positive lifestyle and like actually believing in yourself and discovering self love. But you have to know what love is. And I'm having a hard time condensing my thoughts right now. So I apologize because it's certain questions that I feel like I can elaborate on for like hours and go on like different tangents when I have to provide more information. But so yeah, bear with me, listeners. But the thing is, a lot of people haven't experienced love externally to even value themselves. You know, so if you lived in a household and let's say there was a lot of disrespect, there's a uh, physical altercations, your dad didn't respect your mama, your mama called you ugly, or just whatever. You have no sense of like, okay, you know, your dad and mom didn't grow up telling you, girl, you beautiful. You know, you can do anything. You know, you got this. You didn't grow up like that, so it's a lot harder for someone that didn't grow up in a household like this. So you have to find it externally. Um, yeah, yeah, and it's a little bit
Yes.
harder that way if you don't have a solid foundation.
Yes, and that does, what you talked about, that's like trauma, but I love your answer. And yes, self-love is everything. That's why we have higher self-love, and that's why you're here to inspire so many people to keep going, because it's not about, some people may think you have it all together on the outside on how someone looks, but on the inside, you just never know what they're going through. So I
Never.
feel like with self love, number one is, keeping a strong relationship, keeping God first, because
Yeah,
God is love. And
absolutely.
that's the first key for self love. So that is absolutely amazing. Um,
Yeah, for sure. Step one.
yes, that's the first step, because He is love. So absolutely amazing. Now, wonderful. I wanted to touch on diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now diabetes is huge in the African American
Community. Yeah.
community, and yes. So, what advice would you give someone? What words would you give someone that is diagnosed with diabetes or just found out that they have diabetes? What can you say about that?
I mean, at that point, since you diagnosed with diabetes, you went to the doctor, and the doctor um, hopefully gave you some good advice, and that is off after they give you uh, maybe they give you some insulin and talk about certain drugs and stuff like that. But hopefully, if you got a good doctor, they'll suggest to you that you need to change your diet,
Right.
you need to change the way you're eating, and two types of diabetes. One is genetic or hereditary, and the other one is, and most of us in the black community are not. It's not genetics. It's not that. It's not hereditary, and you wasn't born with diabetes. So it's the first step is knowledge, and that is to figure out, okay, how can, first off, how did I receive diabetes? You know, was it from the food that I was consuming? All right. So if you received diabetes or diagnosed with diabetes because of your poor choice of eating, then you need to start with your poor choice of eating. Educate yourself on the foods that you shouldn't be eating and the foods that you should be eating, and start there. And for the ones that I feel like just talking to not just the ones that have been diagnosed, but I promote that we need to be more proactive than reactive. So just because you don't have diabetes shouldn't be the one. You shouldn't have to wait until you get diabetes to change your lifestyle,
Yeah.
and change the way that you eat. So that's step one. And then the thing is, someone could say, "Well, it's hard and stuff like that." You know, I'm gonna tell you what's hard is dying. You know, being in the hospital and watching your loved ones die. You know, early. You know, everybody has to die, but you know, as far as you shouldn't be having to live. Sticking a needle on your up your arm or whatever at 40, and live your life from 40 to, let's say, 80 or whatever it is, 30, 40 years. And that's not a good way to live life. I feel like that's not a great way to live life. So it's a choice. Everybody has to deal with, we wake up with choices, and that's to do the right thing, or we can uh, choose go the destructive route. And I think when you practice self love, then you'll only want to put things in your body that's going to aid in producing health, like producing positivity or producing a healthy, energetic life. And anything other than that is destructive. And it's common sense, but uh, the more and more you read on nutrition and self love, the more you want to stay away from the things that you used to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the I feel like that's what the enemy does, right? He disguises things that looks pretty and shiny and wants us to go over there and take it and touch it and get involved, but that very thing will kill you. And that's what's going on with these foods and things of
Right.
that nature that's destructive. And it's almost everything is backwards. Everything that's good for us, um, they will ramp up the prices, or it's looked at as not doesn't taste as good and things of that nature. But the things that we love to do, as not just black people but just the average person, is very, very destructive. A lot of people like to drink, smoke, like I said, have sex, and eat soul food every single day, and not take their vitamins and or vegetables and things of that nature, um, and candies and fruit. Sorry, when you indulge in this lifestyle, you actually gonna get the adverse effects. Um, So it's not worth it. You just have to ask yourself, is my life conducive? Is my lifestyle conducive to a happier life? And yeah, yeah, it's not worth it. A lot of this stuff that we're doing is just not worth it at all. So I just advise and suggest people look into nutrition and find healthier options to the foods that we enjoy. And just take more control of our destiny.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. So I also wanted talk to us a little bit about intermittent fasting. Um Now, have you heard of it, and how do you recommend it for weight loss?
Yeah, so many different diets, right? So many different diets. And the thing is, a lot of us are already intermittent fasting. That means it's like you're eating a small window, right? And that's it. So you can't eat after a certain period of time, and then you don't eat again until lunchtime and things of that nature. But naturally, we all are doing, a lot of us are intermittent fasting. For example, um, let's say, I hate to put everybody in the boat, but a lot of my clients, let's say they don't eat after 8, and then they're not hungry until lunchtime. Well, I don't know, several hours has passed since they've eaten their last meal, so you already in intermittent fasting. So that I would suggest maybe intermittent fasting for the people that literally eat all day, every day. And if that's not you, then I wouldn't prescribe to it, because a lot of people are actually under eating, and that's the main concern. It's like they're under eating, and then when they do eat, they overly indulge. And then when they overly indulge, you so starving, you're gonna go stop at McDonald's and whatever, get a quarter pounder and shake and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So that's the main issue that I see personally as a personal trainer to my clients. That a lot of people are, like I said, not eating enough of the right foods, and then they're starving themselves throughout the night and throughout the day. Um, that they just overindulge in the wrong foods, and they don't really know what to eat. And so in that one setting, or that 1 or 2 meals that they had throughout the day, are extremely terrible choices, and that just sits on your stomach. You're not really using the calories for anything beneficial. So it just sits on you when you going to sleep at night. you know, you're not using those carbs. A lot of people are actually scared of carbs. Carbs aren't necessarily bad. It's just the timing when you eat these carbs that can be lead to weight gain and whatnot. So anyway, I know I kind of veered off, but intermittent fasting, I'm not a big fan of. I feel like I said, a lot of people are doing intermittent fasting, but the thing is, when you do eat, you need to make wiser choices. So I feel like that's the main thing, the main concern or main focus should be is like, okay, what should I eat and how much should I eat uh, throughout this 24-hour time span?
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about meal prepping,
Mm-hmm.
and just eating right. Like, how is your health as far as changing your diet? Talk to us a little bit about that.
I heard talk to us about meal prepping, and then I didn't really hear the second part.
Well, talk to us a little bit about meal prepping
Mm-hmm.
and just you changing your eating habits.
Yeah, well, my eating habits. Yeah, I'm not even gonna speak about my eating habits because I have different goals than the average person per se. Like for example, I didn't really have an issue with overeating. I actually had an issue with under eating and knowing what foods I should be eating for me to reach my goal. So
Mhm.
it's a little bit on the opposite spectrum. Um, but meal prepping is essential because it will keep you away from eating on the run. You'll be prepared for the day. And when it's time to eat, you already have your meal already prepared. Even if you're at home or you're at the office, you already have meals prepared. And and that's what it's really all about. To prevent yourself from falling off, you need to be prepared. So
Right.
that's I'm huge on meal prepping for sure, and I recommend that for anybody who's has any fitness goals, whether it be weight gain or weight loss. You need to be prepared, and it only takes a few hours, maybe once or twice a week, depending on your personality. If you want to eat the same thing for the entire week, or you just want to meal prep for 3 days, that's totally on you.
Now, where do you see yourself within the next 5 years?
Mm, good question. I want my own gym. I will have my own gym. Um, and I feel like I'll be able to reach a lot more people. So whether it be my social media following would drastically take a turn, whether it be my location would draw more people in, or I'll be traveling around the world doing motivational speeches or demonstrations, and just more so get myself out of Houston, so to speak. Or first, I feel like, accomplish more around Houston first. And since Houston is extremely huge, so just do more around the city first for my people, our people, and then after a while, just venture off into other cities and states, and just so I can spread my core message and help more people across the world. So hopefully in 5 years, I'll be at that peak where my name will be known amongst the other greats and inspirational leaders.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we're speaking that into existence right now, even now. Amen.
Amen, amen. It shall be.
Yes. Now tell us about your latest projects. Are you working on anything new?
Yeah, well, the biggest project that I've ever worked on in my entire life, and that means a lot, that says a lot, and that is the Carl Wesley MBS-a-thon. All right, the Carl Wesley MBS-a-thon. MBS stands for Mind, Body, and Spirit. A thon means to draw out to unusual lengths. So the best way I can describe it is somewhat like a marathon or triathlon and whatnot, where it's going to be a race of different 5 different exercises. But the thing is, it's not really solely about the event, as far as individual accolades and whatnot. Of course, people will be involved to see what they can do. See if they can beat such and such or beat their previous time or whatnot. Well, I wouldn't say previous time because it'll be the first event. But anyway, just a way to challenge themselves. But at the same time, there's a bigger message in this event. And it goes back to what I said earlier in this interview, is that there's so many people are dealing with depression.
Mm-hmm.
It has been over 1 million. I want to say 1.1 million people have committed suicide this year alone. And on average, it's 800,000 people commit suicide every single year. So it's a major, major issue across this world.
Wow.
And I feel like exercise is a way for people to find themselves, discover the power that's within themselves, uh, have self-confidence, inner strength, power, courage, all the above that's associated with working out. Uh, and when you discover that and your body is filled with all those good hormones, you don't want to kill yourself no more. You find the value within yourself, so you won't do anything to harm yourself. And I want more people to use that as an option before you open up a cracker bottle or start taking pills and whatnot. I want more people to be vibrant and alive, and that's it. Just be more vibrant and alive. Just and discover the inner strength within themselves, and that's what I want people to do. And that's what this event aims to accomplish: awareness that you don't have to be depressed, you don't have to be overweight, you don't have to be sick, you don't have to you know walk around just sad. You can do something about it, and that one way to do something about it is movement is medicine, and health is wealth.
Yes.
There are a lot of people are chasing this bag, aka money, but if you are not healthy, then what do you have? What do you have? You know, I said something a while back, and I still believe in this. They say, you ever heard? Well, you've heard this phrase before. They was like, God, family. What's the third one? But they put God first, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not how my list goes. I put health first. That's a conversational piece. I understand. But when you put anything over your health, you won't be alive long enough to enjoy it. Or you won't be healthy enough on the right state of mind, or you won't be able to walk. You won't be able to enjoy anything else. So if you put anything over your health, I feel like you're doing yourself a disjustice. All right. Um, that kind of went a little bit left past the MBS-a-thon. But anyway, that is the main thing that I'm excited for, and that's the Carl Wesley MBS-a-thon. And I'm also working on some literature, autobiography and things of that nature that I'm working on as well. So
Wonderful, wonderful. And I just think that that is absolutely amazing. Now, tell us all, when is your Carl Wesley-a-thon?
yeah, it is September of next year. And if you want to look up some information, just follow my. I'm on Facebook, Carl Wesley Jr. Uh, all my social media platforms have information. You can inbox me or you can Google it, YouTube it. It's pretty much everywhere. But the Carl Wesley MBS a-thon. And I would love for anybody to, join. You don't really have to do uh, the most challenging events. Like you don't have to run 10 miles and cycle this and that. If you just want to walk 3 miles, you're fine. If you just want to come out to show your support or even volunteer, everything is a blessing. I just wanted to get this message out to as many people as I possibly can. That health is wealth and movement is medicine. And I want more people to, you know, put health as a high priority in their
Yes.
lives.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mr. Carl Wesley. I just think that it was just such a pleasure having you. And I want you to know that you have all of our support here at Higher Self Love.
Thank you so much. It means the world to me.
Yes, you're so welcome. Now, also, do you have any final shout outs that you would like to give?
Oh, that threw me for a loop. But I'm just thankful for nobody in particular. It's just anybody that's watching this, anybody that shares this video, anybody that's able to reach love and light to all. It doesn't even matter. It's not even personalized. It's a genuine love from my heart to the world. So whoever's watching this and can hear this, much love to you, and I wish you the best.
Yes, awesome, awesome. And also, where can we find you on social media
All
for
right, so
those that don't know?
yeah, Instagram is Carl Wesley underscore the brand, and then Facebook Carl Wesley Jr. And those are the main two sites that I'm on. I'm also YouTube. You can find me under Carl Wesley the brand as well. Pretty easily to find. You can Google me too, Carl Wesley Jr. You can pull up different links and things that I did in the past.
Awesome. Also, well, again, thank you so very much. It has definitely been a pleasure, and I look forward to having you back on my show again. So wonderful. And thank you guys all that have tuned in. And also, if you would like to donate to Higher Self Love, all donations are definitely welcome. And also, please be sure to like our Facebook page, okay? And if you're interested in being a guest on my show, I would just be more than happy to have you. Please send me a direct message. All righty. Now, wonderful. And as always, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Stay blessed up, and higher
Yes,
self love is the best love.
absolutely.
Bye, you guys.
Peace, peace.